We're back, we're live, we're Think Tech Talks here in Community Matters, broadcasting from the core of downtown Honolulu with some help from Lanai. Our program today is Lanai on New Year's Eve, featuring our correspondent Alberta Jetley, a journalist and farmer on Lanai, a lady about town, with her primary guest, Tom Roelens, who's the general manager of the Four Seasons Resorts of Lanai. Welcome to the show, Alberta and Tom.
Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you for having us.
It's great to have you. What a wonderful scene this is. I want to be there. I'll be over soon. Anyway, Alberta, can you give me an idea of where you are? This is a beautiful, idyllic scene we have, but can you tell our listeners exactly where you are?
Well, we're on the beautiful island of Lana'i, of course, but we're presently at the Four Seasons Resorts at Manele Bay. And we're sitting in the new Nobu restaurant, and seated with me is Tom Roelens. He's the general manager of Four Seasons Resorts on Lana'i.
So why don't you introduce Tom Roelens, okay, and just tell us who he is and why he's with us today.
Well, Tom's been a very, very good friend for Lana'i, and I've had the great pleasure of getting to know him personally. He's very, very active in our community. We started our Lanai Chamber of Commerce 2 years ago, and Tom serves as a board member for us. Tom is an active runner. He runs every morning with a group of Lanai people. You can meet up with him at the flagpole in the middle of town. And he also paddles. So he's an amazing man. And on top of that, he's running this absolutely gorgeous property.
You're making me blush, Alberta.
How about some rebuttal, Tom? You want to make any rebuttal on that opening?
Well, you know, it's great. First of all, thank you so much for on this very last day of the year of having us part of the program. We're very, very appreciative, and you know, it's been great to have the partnership with Alberta, and thank you so much. We've done a lot of great initiatives, whether it's the Chamber of Commerce or just on the Visitors Bureau, or all of the activities in town for the community and so forth, to great programs such as the Nobu Garden, which is just become an integral part of what we do here on Lanai. And just thank you, Jay, to have us on the program, and thank you, Alberta, for all your support and the partnership here on island. Mahalo.
You're very welcome. You know, Jay, a hotel is only as good as the people who work in it.
It's about relationships.
Tom and his staff go the extra mile to make everybody feel really a part of the island and to be welcome. And this goes through their entire hotel. So from the lodge at Ku'eli to the Four Seasons at Manele Bay, his staff they do a wonderful job here.
Well, I want to actually talk with Tom in some detail about the hotels, the features and events, restaurants, sports facilities, and so forth. But I'd like to get in the mood by first asking you, Alberta, what's been going on since we spoke last a few weeks ago? Can you give us a sort of a journalistic impression of life on Lanai here in these closing weeks and moments of 2013?
Well, it's been a very exciting year for us with Mr. Ellison, and around town, the mood is very upbeat, very positive. This island is just blooming. It is so beautiful. And the weather today, when you look at this, it's the last day of the year. We have absolutely perfect weather. Just outside, below us, where we're filming, the pool deck is filled with people enjoying the sunshine. Further on down at Hulapo Beach Park, the beach park is filled with people enjoying the last day of the year. And tonight, Tom will be hosting a huge fireworks display where the entire town will be arriving at Manele to watch it and enjoy the fireworks.
Sounds like Lanai is enjoying a good and robust sense of community, It sort of comes together on New Year's Eve somehow. But it was an article in today's paper by Cynthia Oy about how community is so important in Hawaii, and we have to hold on to it and build it every opportunity. And I think it's alive and well on Lanai. Anyway, can I take a moment to expand our introduction here by playing a 2-minute video which is on YouTube, along with many others. We found so many wonderful videos. Love Lanai series it is, and I'd like to take 2 minutes to get in the mood and play this for you. This is called Introduction to Lanai. So will Mr. Producer please roll this one? Okay, we're back. We're live. Welcome back to ThinkTech Talks on Community Matters. Today we're talking about Lanai on New Year's Eve with Alberta the Jetley, journalist and farmer on Lanai, Lady About Town, and Tim Roelens, the general manager of the Four Seasons Resorts on Lanai. I wonder if you guys could share with me your New Year's resolution sitting on that beautiful couch in Nobu's restaurant in Lanai. What resolutions are you making?
I'm going to let Tom go first.
Well, you know, I think in terms of New Year's resolutions, it's you know, you got to look at the whole entire year and make sure you're gonna accomplish everything you're trying to say at the very beginning of the year. But I think we have such a wonderful community here on Lanai. I'm fully immersed and feel very grateful for being part of the community here on Lanai. But it's just continuing that and truly sharing what Lanai has to offer with all the visitors of the island. It's beyond the natural beauty of the island of Lanai. You know, the most beautiful part, in my opinion, is the people of Lanai. And I've been here for 6 years now, and I've lived all over the world, anywhere from, you know, Dubai to Indonesia to the Maldives and so forth. And it truly has become home for me, and I feel grateful to be part of it, and if anything, want to immerse myself further and also share this very unique sense of hospitality of Lanai with the visitors of the island.
You know, it could be the best destination resort in the world. You know that.
It will be. It already is.
Okay. Okay, we're not going to let you get away, Alberta. What's your resolution?
Well, you know, I'm very much of an activist. I'm always out doing things and planning things and forming organizations and getting people involved in projects. My project this year is we've just revitalized the Lanai Community Hospital Auxiliary. And our big goal this year, this coming year, is to start up a garden. And the lower part of the hospital, we have an open space area that we're planning to build a floral garden so that the patients in the hospital can take the elevator down to the lower floor, wander outside and walk on these pathways filled with beautiful flowers, because, you know, flowers make such a difference in people's lives. Just the smell of them, the sight of them, their color. It's just so uplifting to be surrounded by flowers. So that's going to be my New Year's resolution. My goal for this year is to get this flower garden planted and growing.
I knew it would be something about agriculture. I knew that. So Tom, I'd like to sort of explore with you what's going on in Lanai. We're in a new ownership phase. We're in a new time, a new creativity. Can you tell us about the hotels these days? Their features, the events they present, the restaurants, including Nobu's, sports facilities, renovations. Can you give us a handle on what's going on there?
Absolutely, Jay. It's such an exciting time for the island and Four Seasons Resorts here on Lanai. And the last year and a half has just been a huge transformation of the properties, and it's always a combination between the physical aspect of resorts, but and then the people that provide all the service. And Alberta had touched on it earlier, but the energy on the island is just unbelievable, and it's our guests are feeling it. They're truly happy to be part of it. Our employees are proud to see what's happening with our island, proud to show off all of the physical improvements to the resorts. And just in the last year and a half, we're here in Nobu. We opened Nobu Lana'i. We have the partnership with Alberta and the Nobu Garden, so the vast majority of the vegetables are now coming from the Nobu Garden, already here grown on the island by our chefs and Alberta. We opened a brand new steakhouse, 140, right across from us here at Nobu. We have 140, which is an American steak, Hawaiian seafood concept. Mm-hmm. Beyond that, both lobbies, the public areas of the resorts have been entirely renovated. And just the feedback we're getting from our regular guests is phenomenal. I mean, I couldn't describe it any otherwise. And we have many guests here this time of the year who have been coming for 17 years, 19 years, and they keep telling us that not only do they like all of the physical improvements, but it's the energy of the people and the service levels that are beyond anything they've seen in the state of Hawaii and way beyond. And it's a very exciting time for us here at the resorts.
God, I remember my wife and I went to Koeli some time ago, and we were there for the soft opening originally, and I'll never forget how taken we were by that property. And we got up in the morning all ablush, went down for breakfast, and as we walked by, there was a gardener gardening. And he looked up at us as we passed by, and he said, "Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Fidel."
Yes,
I was infatuated from that point till now.
It's that recognition of our guests, and it's all about personalization, about recognizing the guests, and our team is so proud of what's happening on Lanai, and is so proud of being part of everything that's happening at the resorts and in the community. That they truly want to be of service, and that's unique. I mean, the service levels, you can teach the technical skills in our industry, but you cannot teach that unique sense of hospitality and that sense of aloha, and service truly comes from the heart here on Lanai, which is unbelievable. It's a fantastic place for our guests. They just already now we're halfway in the middle of this festive season, and we have a wait list for next year. Guests want to come back, signing up, and this is it's phenomenal.
Spectacular. That is fabulous. So if I'm a guest these days in Lanai, what are my options in terms of activities? Where do I go? What do I see? How do I fill my day? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. People think of Lana'i somewhere. Sometimes we get the question from travel agents and guests and visitors who have not been to the island that there is not much to do here on Lana'i. And the reality is that it's quite the opposite. The average stay of our guests here on Lana'i is anywhere from 5 to 7 nights. And the vast majority of our guests are telling us on their departure, we didn't get to do everything. And so, you know, up at the lodge, you have anything from horseback riding to an amazing golf course to UTV riding, great hiking, a lot of outdoor activities, archery, a great clay shoot operation. You have 90,000 acres of Lana'i to discover as well, which is the beauty of this island. And then at Manele Bay, it's that quintessential, you know, Four Seasons resort experience in this beautiful bay. Lots of ocean activities and sailing and scuba diving, and you know, we have the fortune of being right in the middle of this whale sanctuary and so forth. So you'll be having breakfast and you'll see the whales breaching right from the breakfast room, and it's stunning. There's no other word for it.
You know, it sounds like it captures all those things that we tend to identify with Hawaii and the neighbor islands. You know, it manages to have them all in one place. You know, time goes by, and those idyllic experiences, you know, they kind of fade into the 21st century. So much is happening everywhere and so much development. But in Lanai, it sounds like it's all quite perfectly preserved. And anyone comes to see, you know, the hotels will have these opportunities as in no other place. Am I right? As in no other place, not in the same way any other place in the state. Yeah.
You know, it's Hawaii as it is intended to be. It's just a beautiful, beautiful location with wonderful, wonderful people. And that's the feeling our visitors to the island walk away with. It's just that sense of community, that sense of a great natural place, and just a wonderful place to be and visit and spend family time.
So what renovations have you accomplished, and what renovations are still in the pipeline, Tom?
Yes, so we pretty much have redone all of the public areas at both resorts. So the lobbies of both properties, at the lodge at Kuili and Four Seasons at Manele Bay. We have unveiled our lower lobby just in the last week, actually. We have totally renovated the dining room and the great hall at the lodge, the bar at the lodge at Kuili, and so forth. And truly, the feedback from our guests has been extremely positive. But beyond that, we've just this week also opened Views, which is a brand new restaurant that we opened out at the Manele Bay Golf Club, which overlooks the Pacific and the Holopoye Bay. That alone is worth a visit. I would say, Jay, it's a great location and just great food and fantastic views, as the name of the restaurant. But beyond that, at Manele Bay, we added the Nobu Lana'i restaurant. We added the 140 Steakhouse, the sports bar. We have also redone 13 brand new rooms and suites on the penthouse floor of the main building, which is kind of right above me where we're sitting. Mm-hmm. And the spa has been renovated as well. So lots of you know, lots of things have been accomplished, and the place looks better than ever, and that's very much what our guests are telling us.
Oh, gee. If I was interested in coming around before, I'm more interested now. So now, what about you? I mean, I know that general managers work very hard. You have a lot of responsibilities, and in this case, you have two hotels, and you know, and they're not exactly side by side. What do you do on your off hours, Tom?
Well, my mother warned me that when I joined the hotel business that you know, it's not a job, it's a lifestyle, and you know, so I don't really go to work every day per se. I very much enjoy what I do, and it's life for me. So On my day off, it's not much different than when I'm working. I very much love the outdoors. I love everything Lana'i has to offer. And early morning, at least 3 times a week, we're out paddling around the waters of Lana'i in that outrigger canoe. We're out running. We're out enjoying what Lana'i has to offer, which is just a beautiful natural beauty.
Well, and what about your canoe group?
Yeah, we were out there this morning. The sun's been coming up a little later lately, so 6:30 this morning we were out there. But normally 5:45 in the morning we push off the beach and we're out there to watch the sunset or the sunrise, and oftentimes. We'll be out there just before the sun rises, and it's just absolutely stunning to be out on the water. And you see Ka'o'olawe on the one side, you see Haleakala, the volcano on a clear day. You'll see the volcanoes out from the Big Island and so forth. And you look back to the island of Lana'i. It's there's really not a more stunning place on earth, and I truly feel blessed that I get to live here and be part of this community.
Yes, well, that's the operative thing. You know, it strikes me that in most other locations, the general manager is a little bit remote from the community, but in Lanai, you have no choice in the matter. You are immersed in the community, like it or not, and you might as well enjoy yourself. It's a completely democratic situation where you rub shoulders with everybody. So I guess that's part of the benefit of being general manager in a place like Lanai, so small.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's a wonderful community, and I'm very proud and happy to be part of it.
Yeah, gee, well, Alberta, it sounds like things are doing well. Can you compare? I mean, the tone and tenor of things now as they were, say, a few years ago. How does it feel to you?
Well, Lana'i did go through a hard time when the economy was in a recession. And that was to be expected because it was happening all over the state. Now, with the hotels being renovated, with Tom and Four Seasons' mission to make Lana'i not one of the best, but absolutely the best vacation spot in Hawaii, we are really, yes, without doubt, this is the place to be. Lana'i was voted, is on the planet's list.
That's right.
Lost Planet, is that Lost
Lonely
Planet?
Lonely Planet just released an article that it's one of the top places in the world to visit in 2014, and I can't agree more.
You can go 5 minutes away from the hotel, 10 minutes away from the hotel. You can be totally isolated. You can find yourself a nice isolated stretch of beach to walk on. You can go up into the mountains and be the only person on the mountain. It is just truly unique to be able to do this.
Well, now, there was an article in the paper recently about a second ferry, funding for a second ferry. The existing ferry operator, I guess, between Mell and Lahaina, is going to put another ferry, probably of the same class, online to connect the two islands. How is this going to affect things? Do you relish this? Is this something you look forward to?
Oh, Expeditions started when the hotels were first being constructed. Expeditions used to bring construction workers over, and I think they started with a Zodiac. And now they have, yeah, they did. And then they had another small ferry ferry boat that was maybe 34 passengers. And now I think their present boat carries 146 passengers with golf bags, with freight, with all kinds of things. This, when people talk about ferry service into island, Expeditions has already proved that if you provide a good service, people will use it. And their service is a lifeline to our island. They provide us with 5 round-trip trips between Lahaina and Manila Bay. They're always on schedule, always on time, totally safe and reliable. We could not live on Lana'i and have what we have on Lana'i without Expeditions. Three-fourths. How many passengers would you say come over on expeditions?
Oh my goodness, hundreds every day, I think, and it's a combination of the local community as well as visitors to the island, whether it's people coming to the golf course or guests coming to stay at the resorts, absolutely. And it's a great experience, actually. You know, when people ask me, oh, how is that ferry to get to the island of Lanai? I said, well, it's really an excursion is what it is, because you know, 6 months a year you'll be watching the whales, and you know, you'll be enjoying the scenery, and before you know it, you're on Lanai. So it's actually a great experience too.
It's a great whale watching trip to go back and forth on the ferry, because this time of the year you're almost guaranteed you're going to see whales, and they come right up to the ferry too. So it's exciting.
Oh, that is exciting, yeah. Well, you know, Lanai seems to be more connected these days, particularly with the advent of the second boat on the ferry line, and the new airline that Larry Ellison has established. So now you know, I mean, to me, the connection of the islands in the state is a very important thing. It builds a statewide community. It's very important for every island to be connected. And one of the great things about this period in Lanai history is that it is increasingly connected. You can feel it happening, and here we are on Skype. Imagine that, broadcasting from Lanai at Maneli Bay. I love that idea. But there you are. Do you feel it? I mean, do you feel the sense of connectivity? And can you remain remote even with that?
I think so. Every person who comes to Lanai goes away with the idea of how special this island is. Yes. And if we can keep that specialness with us giving every guest, every visitor to Lanai this special sense of aloha, I think we will continue to attract the kind of visitors we want to this island.
People who respect the land and, you know, the community. Yeah.
Tom Rulin, imagine that they're all watching all around the world, and they'd like to hear from you about, you know, what you would say to them, what you would offer them as a sort of a message to the world to come to Lanai. What would you say?
You know, I think it's one of these magical places where you have not only great natural beauty, but fantastic people, and truly when visitors come to a location such as Lanai, not only do they find these beautiful beaches and world-class resorts, but just wonderful, beautiful people that want to be there and create that very special experience. And you have beautiful beaches around the world and great resorts around the world. But I think when people walk away here, they just feel that sense of place and that sense of wonderful people. And that's what they walk away with. And that's why people come back year after year, year after year. And because they have created these bonds with the people of Lanai, and that's unique. That sense of aloha that cannot be found anywhere else but Lanai.
Thank you, Tom. Tom Roelens, General Manager of the Four Seasons Resort in Lanai, speaking to us from a very comfortable-looking couch there in Nobu's in the Maneli Bay Hotel overlooking the beach. It's idyllic. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Alberta. We're going to take a short break at this point, and we'll be right back after this short break. Thank you again, Tom.
Aloha, Jay.
Aloha.
Thank you.
Aloha. I'm Nicole Horry for ThinkTech. For nearly half a century, the Hawaii Foreign Trade Zone No. 9 has brought the benefits of the Foreign Trade Zone program to Hawaii businesses and entrepreneurs. DBET, the Department of Business, Economic Development and Tourism, operates Hawaii's Foreign Trade Zone program to encourage international business and economic development. The Foreign Trade Zone's mission is to increase the amount of international trading activity in Hawaii, thereby providing employment opportunities for the residents of our island state. For more information, see ftz9.org. I'm Nicole Horry. Mahalo.
Sean's got a full house tonight.
Dinner is on me.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom. That's Tom Roelens, General Manager of the Four Seasons Restaurant in Lanai. We're here on ThinkTech Talks, talking about community matters, this time community matters in Lanai. We're broadcasting from the Pioneer Plaza at the core of downtown Honolulu. And we're talking about Lanai on New Year's Eve with Alberta de Jetley, journalist and farmer on Lanai, and a lady about town. Now Tom Roelens has gone back to work, I expect, and we have another guest. That is Mell, the chef of the Nobu's restaurant at Manele Bay. Hi, Sean. Thank you so much for being with us.
Aloha. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Aloha. So can you do the honors, Alberta, and can you introduce Mell?
Are you ready to go?
Yeah, we're on.
Oh, okay, good. This is my good friend, Mell.
Yes.
He's the executive chef at Nobu Restaurant, and he comes down to the Nobu Garden twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, sometimes 4 times a week, to check up on me to make sure that I'm growing his vegetables.
She's doing a great job. So everything's been going
It's
good.
a partnership. It's a really good partnership. We check up on each other.
So if you don't mind, Sean, I'd like to play a movie called Love Lanai Beyond the Grid.
Yes.
We found it on YouTube. It is a spectacular movie, beautiful movie, about the transition to the establishment of Nobu's at Manele Bay. And we're going to play it right now. When we come back, we'll be asking you about exactly what you have there at Nobu's. It's my favorite restaurant, by the way.
Good, mine too.
No surprise.
You know, normally when we open a new Nobu restaurant, it's all about the partnership, first of all. It has to be somebody who understands where Nobu comes from and what his philosophy is, so that they share these equal values. So I was in Kuala Lumpur just for a few days as a guest chef, and I got a phone call from Nobu. He introduced me to that they're gonna open a new restaurant. So he asked me if I can come and take care of the project. And of course it's Nobu, so I don't say no. It was really brief, quick phone call, and with a lot of questions afterwards. First of all, it's where is Lanai? Who is Larry Ellingson? We had a letter from the managing director of Nobu, and on the very bottom it's like, let's get together, let's do it. We have 6 weeks to open the restaurant. And I was just, what? 6 weeks? So pretty much just packed my suitcase, applied for a visa, and got ready to move. So that's how I came to Lanai. So once I got to Lanai and I landed on the airport, the first thing within 3 minutes of just meeting the people who picked me up, I was like, where's the farm? And at that moment, you know, most of everything that was brought in comes from Honolulu, and it doesn't make any sense to me that you have this beautiful climate, this beautiful place, and then we aren't, you know, using it. So I knew that in Lanai, this is a project that we can do. I'm going to be able to connect. I'm going to be able to be here and look after it and take care of it. You know, the ground here is a lot of red dirt from the volcano. So I used to have white shoes before I moved to Lanai. So when I grew up, I always loved being in the kitchen. Even today, when I go home to my mom's house, the first thing I do, and she will know it, so I'll go in the fridge and check what's in the fridge before we do anything. Now we go shopping together, we're just cooking together, whenever I'm home too. When I was growing up and we had to make a choice for the education, I had no doubt in my mind what I wanted to become, and it was just chef. So I work in a very highly established restaurant, Nobu. I cook for all kind of people from all over the world, but I know if I go home and my mom's cooking, it isn't the best in the world for a general public. But when I go home, I feel, you know, I can feel my mom's passion when she's cooking. And this is what, you know, that's why it tastes delicious and gorgeous to me. And then she'd be like, is it okay? Is it okay? Is it okay? We just started with salad at the beginning. So we don't pick salad and then just leave it in the fridge for a week until it's finished. We pick, like, you know, just for today and tomorrow. We started with that, and the tomatoes. These here were planted in pots in beginning of April. They're going to be producing tomatoes for about 2 months. Yeah, I think we got a bit excited about tomato plants. Can I have the jalapeno dressing? Sorry. As a chef, once you can see the things coming in the garden, you change your perspective on things, and then you rediscover things like eggplant flowers. And it's something you will never see because they're so delicate. They will only last half a day. Today we picked this. It's incredible sweet. It cannot be compared to any asparagus you had before if you're so lucky to do this. So for me to have this garden, it's second to none. It's so important for us to be able to give that experience to our guests. I think when chefs are working with processed food, they already lost their passion. Really, I truly believe you might love food, you love your job, but cooking, true passionate, you're never going to see a chef out of the kitchen.
The farm is here or?
Yeah, garden here.
This is a beets.
And here's asparagus. So you can try it directly. Really sweet.
Wow. Great.
These are serrano pepper plants, but
Already have the serrano?
just pick now.
That's so sweet.
So good, huh?
So good. Let's make salad with this.
Yeah.
I think that this is better than baby spinach.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make another edamame field. I'm gonna make more shishiro. And then we have now cabbage on the way.
Yeah.
We're gonna have cauliflower and broccoli.
Yeah.
So that's gonna all grow for the winter time. So by Christmas, the target is that 80–90% of all the vegetables we're using from Lanai.
Great.
So it's all
the organic, it's no chemical.
Yeah.
This is great.
And
I like to see this.
yeah. Yeah, say, you know, if it's not good enough for the bugs, it's not good enough for us. So when I'm out here, you know, I'm learning as well, how does the flavor develop through the time that we're growing? You know, I'm picking things constantly and trying it and seeing where is the right thing. When I brought the guest here, I can go back and we can make something with this, and they understand and they can appreciate it, even if it's just carrots. Doesn't matter to me whether it's the best beef in the world or the most expensive caviar, or if it's carrot. Everything has got to be same respect. Everything is equal. So every day before we go to the garden in the morning, we will check a house reservation that day, and then we'll pick accordingly. Of course, we are always like, you know, we will have enough for what we have. But really, when you have a salad bought from a supplier, that could be picked a week, 10 days before you even got it. And so, you know, all this flavor is changing and disappearing inside, it's dehydrating. It's grown to be shipped far away. This is grown, handmade on Lanai for being eaten that day. It's just been an amazing project. Just seeing the seed growing up and all the branches coming off that. Now I started this project. Now it's 2 people take it over, 2 become 4, 4 become 8. So we get everybody excited about it. We get people, you know, involved. They're gonna teach the next 4 people, 4 become 8. And this is like how we spread this message around the world eventually.
Okay, we're back, we're live. What a great movie that was. This is Think Tech Talks, Community Matters. It's Lanai on New Year's Eve with Alberta the Jetley, a journalist and farmer in Lanai, a lady about town. And we've talked to Tom Roelens, who is the general manager of the Four Seasons restaurants in Lanai. Now we're also talking to Sean Mell, the chef at the Nobu restaurant. Sean, it's wonderful to have you on the show. We are so interested in Nobu's. I was telling you during the movie that it is my wife's favorite place and my favorite place here in Honolulu. And by coincidence, it is my niece's favorite place in Manhattan. So there you have it. Why is that? What makes Nobu so special?
I just think it's, you know, it's a perfect balance of flavor. You know, everybody is just intrigued by what he does. I think that's a big part of it. And just, you know, everybody that works for the company is very passionate about what they do, and it shows in the food. you have to love what you're doing in order to put out the perfect meal.
How do you achieve, I hope, you know, this is not protected by trade secret or anything, but how do you achieve that fabulous taste in dish after dish? I mean, each one has a taste that you really cannot get anywhere else. And you guys manage to do it consistently and consistently among your restaurants. It must be a special secret formula, huh?
Well, it's, like I said, it's just a harmonious balance, that's all. You know, it's just when you find the right balance of ingredients and you find what it pairs with perfectly, you know, it gets distributed across the board to all locations so that everybody's on the same page.
So tell us about your own career as a chef. You know, I always wanted to be a chef. In fact, one of my buddies, a lawyer, decided mid-career that he was going to give up practicing the law, went to the mainland, got to be a chef. How do you like that? So tell us, how do you do it? How do you get into the business?
Well, actually, I started off very young as a dishwasher in a little cafe in New Jersey.
Really?
It's kind of mind-boggling to me that now I'm sitting here in Lanai running a Nobu restaurant. But yeah, you know, I started off as a dishwasher. I had somebody get hurt in the kitchen. They was like, does anybody want to work grill? I raised my hand. I was like, I don't want to wash another pot or pan. And from there, it kind of just triggered something inside of me, just, you know, being behind the line, that rush that you get when the restaurant gets busy. And from there, you know, I just career-based classes in high school as well. And then I went on to Art Institute in New York City for culinary school. I actually had to do an externship to graduate from school. And that's when I, you know, tapped into the world of Nobu.
Oh, really? Right out of school then, or in school, actually.
Yep.
And here we are today. The rest is history.
Yes.
So what is it like to be the chef of a Nobu's in what might be the greatest resort destination in the world?
It's an honor. You know, it's a privilege to be here and have this opportunity to do this.
Fabulous. What is your day like? Do you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning like Tom Roelens?
No. Sometimes when we go out and go paddling on the outriggers, we're up that early. But, you know, for the most part, my day probably starts around 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. We go out to the garden, like Alberta said, maybe once, twice, 3, 4 times a week, depending on what the week is looking like. You know, and then it probably goes to about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. You know, we close a little bit earlier than most of the Nobu restaurants do. But it's because we're at a resort and, you know, we have to deal with the occupancy of the hotel, so.
Well, what kind of people like your restaurant? I mean, is it limited to Japanese tourists or?
No, not at all. I think it's very eclectic. I think, you know, it appeals to anybody and everybody. The best thing about the Nobu brand is, you know, you can come in here and you can tell your server exactly what you know your palate likes, and, you know, we have the ability to create that for you.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing actually about Nobu's. You can turn it over to your server and he'll take care of you, and you won't be sorry. You'll be pleased you did.
Exactly. I always tell people the best way to eat in any Nobu restaurant is just come in and do a tasting menu. You know, omakase, it means cooking from the heart. And as I said before, you know, all the chefs that work for this company are very passionate and heart-driven about what they do.
Yeah, well, so is your Nobu's menu the same as the others, or do you have some dishes that are specific to Lanai?
So across the board, all Nobu restaurants have the same signature dishes, you know, the dishes that made Nobu Nobu. But for each location, even with Lanai, we have our own osasume menu, which is like chef specials. So we do have our own Lanai specials that no other Nobus around the world have.
Like what?
We do a whitefish tempura, yuzukosho ponzu. We do a poke trio, so it's kind of an indigenous dish to Hawaii. What else do we have? We have a grilled live lobster that we do. That's just, you know, super juicy, luscious, finished with a honey truffle aioli. So there's quite a few items that we offer. Even our big eye ahi wasabi salsa. So there's quite a few items that we offer that other locations don't.
You're really making me hungry. You understand that?
I'm making myself hungry right now.
Good. How about you, Alberta? You getting hungry?
Yes.
So what's the nature of your relationship with Alberta as a producing farmer for the restaurant?
She has definitely been, you know, more of a teacher for me, myself. You know, I've known nothing about gardening. She's, you know, taking us out there and letting us get our hands dirty, and, you know, it's been fun to go out there and plant seeds with her and, you know, get educated at the same time. You know, I honestly, after working with Alberta and being on the farm, you know, I have a new respect for just your basic produce now. When you realize how much labor goes into something and how much care and love you have to give to the earth and to the vegetable itself, You know, you build a different respect for food, and you know, Alberta's helped me a lot with that.
Oh, that's great. Alberta took me for a tour of the farm once too. I remember it was, well, has to be more than a year ago, but I was equally impressed. So during the movie, we spoke about an idea that has a kind of a seductive quality about it. That is having the guests from the hotel, the guests of the restaurant, I guess, come out to the farm, take a look at that. And then maybe even go a step further and put a table out for them and have them eat the very produce that is growing around them. What do you think of that as a possibility?
I mean, I think it's a fantastic idea. You know, I would love to get people out there and just literally see where the roots come from. Get their hands dirty, let them enjoy, you know, being outside and, you know, experiencing something a little bit different. You know, it's not every day you have an opportunity to do something like this. So, you know, to go out and to pick your own vegetables and then have the opportunity to go back to the kitchen with the chef and prepare a dish, you know, you feel almost like an instant gratification from that.
Yes, it's really the ultimate earthy, you know, experience, the finest of all. So do you get to see Nobu once in a while?
Oh, yes, we do. He was out here a couple months ago. We actually had the opportunity to go snorkeling with him and hang out, do a little barbecue on the beach with him as well. Which is, that by itself is unique. Not too many people can say they've had that kind of an opportunity.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's a democratization. Everybody in Lanai plays.
Oh, it was fabulous. When he came down to the farm, you know, we worked really, really hard to have the farm, the garden, Nobu garden, just absolutely spotless and perfect looking. And he was so impressed with the hard work that everybody had put into it. But when he visited, we had fresh corn growing. So we went out and we picked some corn for him and had him eat it raw. And he had never, ever had that chance to eat corn right out of the field.
I can honestly say the corn on this island will completely change your life.
We're going to remake this as an agricultural island, that's why.
Oh, yes, we hope so.
So, Sean, when you see Nobu next time, maybe you'll mention this idea about the picnic table in the middle of the farm?
Oh,
well, this was actually his idea. That was the first thing he said to us when we walked out there. Why don't we get people out here? We do dinners out here, do some kind of a cooking demo.
Yeah.
You know, Nobu's very big on educating people and educating the community and the town around him. You know, he's a very family-orientated person, and that's what I think is that common bond between all Nobu restaurants. Is just, you go to any Nobu in the world and you're with that company, you feel like you have a family.
I can hardly wait to get over and try it out. So, Sean, you know, we're getting toward the end of our show, and I wanted to offer you some time to speak to the people, as I did to Tom Roelens, and sort of tell them what you would like to say to them about Nobu's and about the experience at Nobu's, and tell them what you would ask them to come.
Well, just please come out and enjoy the culture that Lanai has to offer. Enjoy the fresh produce that Nobu has to offer. We're one of the only Nobu restaurants in the world that have our own garden. So that there is a unique experience in itself. We have this beautiful island, this beautiful resort. I mean, who wouldn't want to come here?
Nobody. So we are at a point where I'd like to ask you both about, well, first you, Sean. What's your New Year's resolution? What can you give us on your plans for next year?
Well, that's a good one. I haven't really had the time to think about that yet. I guess I'd have to say, you know, is just, you know, continue with this garden, make it grow, and just, you know, at some point be 100% self-sustainable from that garden. Okay, make your garden grow. And back to you, Alberta. Sorry? I said literally.
Yes, literally. Back to you, Alberta. You know, we have a few minutes left, one or two, and I wonder if you could give us your thoughts on 2014. What's it going to be like? Look into the crystal ball for us. Tell us how Lanai will change in 2014.
2014, we're going to be moving. We're going to be going places. We have a dire need for more housing. More people are coming to Lana'i. We have more workers here, but we don't have any place to put them. So that's one of the problems that we will have to solve in 2014. The second thing we need to solve is how we're going to grow more food. So we're already working on that because we would like to be able to continue to showcase Nobu with the finest vegetables that we can grow on Lanai. But we'd also like to extend this to the Four Seasons resorts, other restaurants and to people in our community, so they have the opportunity to eat the same healthy food that we're selling to the resorts.
Okay, you guys, thank you so much, Alberta Jetley, journalist and farmer in Lanai, lady about town, and thank you to Tom Roelens, who spoke to us earlier. He's the general manager of the Four Seasons restaurant in Lanai, and thank you to you, Sean Mell, the chef at Nobu. I really do have to get to meet you soon.
Yes, please come in.
We're invited to dinner.
You already have a free dinner on Tom, right?
Over.
This is Think Tech Talks coming to you from Pioneer Plaza, the core of downtown Honolulu, with Community Matters, talking about Lanai here on New Year's Eve. Aloha, you guys.
Aloha.
Talk soon. Bye-bye. And thanks to everyone.